Welcome to a new episode. Sorry I've been away for quite some time, but in this episode we're going to talk about a natural fear that we all have, which is our fear of death. It's natural, but nobody wants to have their existence to cease. Nobody wants the show to end, and nobody wants to lose a loved one. All of that is natural. But if we examine where does this fear come from, it comes from our limited perception of the true nature of our existence. And one of the challenges that we face in life is to comprehend that this is just a chapter, a small chapter of our existence, and that those that we've lost, they're not really gone. It's just us that are still, so to speak, we're stuck here and we cannot see the full realm of existence. I'm sure you can relate to this. You look in the mirror and you see your facial features change, you see your body change, but deep inside you still feel that you're the same person. It's as if you are observing the body from a different standpoint. And that means that you, since you're observing the body, you are not the body. You see, you are a soul, you are an energy field of consciousness, having a physical experience in this life. So your body's kind of like a vehicle, so you can experience life, like a rented car. So if you rent a car, you're going to use the car up to a point until the lease ends, and then you're going to step out of the car, hand over the keys, and you're not going to fuss about it, you're not going to cry about it. The reason you're handing over the keys is that you don't need the car anymore. You see, in this life, we are limited with our physical senses. For example, you need the eyes to see only a very limited range of visible light, hands and your ears to touch and hear. But as you step out of this realm, you step out of this physical realm, you are stepping into a way more bigger realm that you no longer need these senses. Thus, you don't need the body. Let us imagine this dialogue in the womb between two twins. One of them is enlightened, the other one is quite satisfied with the way things are in the womb. They're very happy. But the enlightened one says, I believe we have a mother, and I believe that there's much more to this life that we're experiencing in this womb, and there must be something else. The other one says, have you lost your mind? A mother? Have you seen the mother? Has she spoken to you? What you're saying really doesn't make any sense. So the enlightened one says, just look around you. We have all the nutrients we need. Everything is perfectly designed. It's so comfortable here. There must be more to this. So the other one says, I guess you just can't accept that this is all there is. Have you seen anybody who's gone out of the womb and come back? Have you heard about anyone who's gone out of the womb and lived a different life? This is all there is. Accept it. Now, this imaginary dialogue is not much different than the kind of dialogue that we have here in this life between a believer and an atheist, because both of them are seeing a certain thing. For example, the atheist is saying that if I can't see it, I can't believe it. While the believer is using his intellect and reasoning, trying to figure out the true nature of life. In other words, one is sticking to the physical aspect, and the other one is going beyond the physical aspect. This whole universe, from its vast galaxies to the design of a wing of a butterfly to the meticulous code of the DNA, all indicate that this place is governed by laws of physics, the laws of chemistry. And if there's a law, that means there's a lawmaker. And if the DNA is the code for the genome, the code of life, then that means there's a coder. Unlike the embryos in the womb, we have been given an intellect that we can reason and say that if there's a law, there must be a lawmaker. Now, this is where some confuse science with faith. How does that happen? Many people say that, well, now we have science. We don't need faith anymore. We know how things work. We know how the universe works. We know the laws of physics. We know how the human body works. We don't need faith anymore. Faith is only for the old ages when the ages of ignorance. But knowing how something works has nothing to do with the fact that there's a maker of that something. For example, if you stumble across a device and you don't know what the device is, but through trial and error, you are able to figure out how the device works and find out the laws that make the device work. Does that mean, after you've known all of that, does that mean that this device does not have a maker? On the contrary, knowing how something works does not negate the fact that this device was made and designed by someone. And all these laws that have been put in place have been put in place by a lawmaker. Now, this lawmaker, or the creator, or we can call him the first cause, did not leave its creation without any guidance. Thus, over the course of humanity, guidance has been given through prophets over generations. And these prophets come to answer man's biggest questions. What are these questions? The questions of who are you, where you came from, where are you going, and what are you doing here? Now, once you heed this call, you start to understand that your existence in this life, this physical life, is only a small chapter of your existence. And you shouldn't fear death. Once you know that, you really shouldn't fear death, because what you should fear is heedlessness. You should fear not taking life seriously. In other words, just eating, drinking, having fun, having families, then dying. This is not what you were made for. All of these are just means. But you are here to know who you are, know who made you, and know where you are going to. Now, once you understand that, then you will have comfort to see that when you pass on, you're not ceasing to exist, but you are actually getting an upgrade. I hope you found this useful. This is part of a series where we aim to broaden our perspective and understand the true nature of life. So in a coming video, we'll talk about the divine messages that have been given to humanity over a course of generations. So stay tuned. If you like the video, put a like, tell us what you think in the comments, and of other topics you would like to hear. Peace be with you.